Good afternoon, everyone. I am here with Erin Phillips. She is the president of Power to Parent, and what she stands for as an organization is so important to me. Erin, can you tell me a little bit about why you think it's important to have school choice?
Yeah, so I think school choice is one of the most important issues that we are facing right now in our country. We have seen really clearly that a lot of people are really trying to teach our kids issues and really indoctrinate them into one very liberal mindset, and they're changing standards. They're removing really important history lessons and then teaching things like critical race theory. And I don't think parents really realized that before this pandemic as much as we see now. But we really think it's important, especially for just introducing competition into the market. And whenever you do that, you have a better product. And so we think that education should be the best it can be. And I think having competition and having choice for parents really will help that as well.
Right, definitely. So I guess why do you think we've allowed this to happen in our country so far? And what ways do you think we can encourage people to accept the idea of free school choice more?
So I think parents have just been really used to sending their kids to school and really trusting of what they're being taught, and had no real reason to question, what their kids were learning at school. So I think what has happened is that there's just been a wider agenda that has just made really incremental changes, small changes that parents maybe didn't realize. And in doing that, now we have a lot of really liberal philosophy and theology in the classroom. We've seen organizations like Planned Parenthood dump money into the sex education curriculum, for example. So I just think that parents didn't realize that was happening, and now that they realize it's happening, I think that they're really going to be more empowered to fight back. And so I'm really grateful and hopeful that parents have just seen what's happening and they can continue to fight and advocate for their kids.
One of the things that was so instrumental to me was actually when my mother decided to homeschool me. I was homeschooled all the way through 12th grade before going to get my bachelor's at a public university. But she mentioned Voddie Bauchum and how he said why are we surprised when we send our children to these Roman centers and they come back as Romans? So it's not a surprise when we send our children to the public square if they're being educated in the culture of the left, in the culture that we're seeing that's dominating our country. So could you give any last words as to what the role of parents are in educating their children and how we can do a better job of that?
Yeah, so I think parents just need to take their power back, because education is actually our responsibility, especially as Christian parents. And I think that it's really important that parents recognize that we can educate our kids. We have so many more options out there than we used to have, and we can really be empowered to take on that responsibility, and I think our kids will be better for it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Erin. I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.